please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face. Bass in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So, for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who already subscribed to the channel, whether it be from, from the very beginning or just recently. I really appreciate all the love and all the support all of you have given me. Also, want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. Your continued support really touches my heart. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and all those who watch from the clouds, including the haters. Um, so, that being said, if you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Unfortunately, I did not send, I neglected to send the screenshot regarding tonight's stream. So, it may be another slow light. Well, we shall see. So tonight I'm going to be doing reactions to certain videos which I have seen, and some of them are really outrageous. Okay, but before we go to the topic, excuse me, it's just that. Okay, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Well, it is that time again, ladies and gentlemen, where there's a possibility that there may be another partial government shutdown. Why? Because our representatives from the House still cannot finalize a budget to live on. And this is going to be an old story. This happens every couple of weeks. It's the same situation go on and on and on and on. Instead of passing a budget, which will go from the beginning of the fiscal year, which is from October 1st to September the 30th, what they do is they pass a bunch of temporary stopgap bills to keep the government going for a couple of weeks until another crisis comes in, and then what they'll do is they'll pass another short-term budget, which will last a couple of weeks, and then they'll go through another cycle. Okay. Again, this is just a perfect example of our Congress people. They cannot do anything for the well-being of its citizenry, but yet they can spend time trying to impeach Joe Biden for what? I don't know. Okay. Or they can get around and try to ban TikTok. That's really, that's sad. and that's pathetic. And this is something that we shouldn't have to deal with it. I mean, Congress should be able to come up with a budget deal that will last more than a couple of weeks, so we don't have to keep going through the same situation again and again and again. Unfortunately, here we are. So what do I think is going to happen? Simple. They're going to come up with another short-term budget of which they're going to pass a spending resolution bill, which will keep the government running for a couple of weeks, and then they'll go with another crisis again, and then they'll go into crisis mode, and then wait until the last hour before they come up with an agreement regarding a temporary budget. But heaven forbid that our representatives from the House can actually come up with a budget which will last the rest of the fiscal year. Okay, that's asking too much for our representatives. I mean, they can get around. They can get around and try to ban TikTok. They can try to impeach Joe Biden. Okay, but yet they cannot do anything else. That's not bit what bode well for us. And the fact of the matter is, to a certain extent, we deserve the type of government we get. Because why? Because we keep voting for these people in every 2 years. We what we would do is we'll be like sheep, and we're like, well, I'm a Democrat, therefore I'm gonna vote Democrat no matter what, even if the SOB doesn't know what the heck he's doing. Or if I'm a Republican, I'm gonna be vote Republican no matter what. We need to be more intelligent than that, and we need to think about what's going to be for our interests, and actually what's going to be that make things better for us, and not vote blindly, so to speak. Unfortunately, a lot of us have the sheep mentality. Okay, we will vote Democratic simply because he's a Democrat. We will vote Republican simply because he's a Republican. Okay, we really need to sit down and examine these people. We need to talk about these people. We need to see what they have done. Okay, because because that's going to influence who we're going to vote for, or it should influence that. But it is what it is. So, what can I say? For my part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to learn as much as I can regarding um, the candidates for each position. Try to learn what their platform is about, and then base my vote basically on the likelihood they're going to achieve or partially achieve, so to speak. But so far, there has been nothing like, okay, what's been new regarding the proposed ban on TikTok? Of course, it did pass the House. Now it's going to go to the Senate, of which they're going to debate it, and then they might make amendments and things like that. And then, should the Senate approve it, then it will go to Joe Biden for his signature. And if that happens, what happens is that ByteDance will have 162 days to sell TikTok, or will be banned in the United States. I think what's going to happen is eventually the ban will be overturned in the Supreme Court. I mean, it's because there is a thing called freedom of speech, folks. I mean, that's what supposedly we have here in this country. But we shall see. We shall see. Now, this Saturday, I will be doing a live stream on my other platform, which I have not aired a great deal of content. The name of the channel is Latina Diaspora. Let me explain to you what the channel is about. one is devoted to dealing with issues as it pertain to Latinos that were born and raised in the United States, and also Latinos that currently live in the United States that were born elsewhere. Of course, for us, Latinos that currently live in the mainland, we have our own issues among them as far as identity, as far as cultural, and some of us has assimilated to the extent that we do not know a great deal regarding our collective, nor our culture. So, as far as how often will I air, that I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay, because for me to do a total of 4 streams per week, that's a big much. Okay, because unlike some of these people, I actually work. I do have a job, and I have other responsibilities and things of that nature. And also, it does require a great deal of time invested in order to produce content. Okay, I'm not the type of person that just going to get on a mic and just just gap, what have you. Um, so with that being said, I will go live at 6 o'clock this afternoon, Saturday afternoon or evening. I don't know. Well, in any case, so when everything is said and done, we're going to get to the main topic. Okay. So tonight I'm doing something a little different. I usually do not do a reaction stream because basically the whole purpose of this platform is to discuss everyday issues. However, I did came across a couple of videos which I do want to talk about, and let me just start with a disclaimer. Okay, I'm not here to bash men or women. Okay, unfortunately, it seems like when it comes to some of the cringe stuff that we see here, we see more women producing this stuff than men. Men produce it as well, but it seems like women decide whatever they're gonna. No, some women. Let me put it to you that way. It's gonna. It seems like some of them are competing to see who can produce the most cringe fast material possible. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share. Uh, Now this is something that I saw on Dee Dee's channel. Um, I love her because she's a very she is a young, articulate African American lady who speaks a lot of sense. Okay, so and of course this is under fair use. So this is just to give my critique. So what I'm going to do is share my screen, hopefully. And oh, by the way, I just want to let everybody know that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to join the panel and express an opinion, either way, they can do so. What I will ask, if you never been on this platform before, or if I never encounter you anywhere, I will insist that you come up in the backstage to make sure that you don't flash anything inappropriate, which will cause the good people of YouTube to take down this stream. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself, and again, fair use.
I called child services on my ex because he pissed me off, and then I was like, yeah, I'm done with this person, whatever, like, you know, cheater, piece of shit, lies about dumb. He had kids. I called child services on his ass, and I like fabricated everything and like censored things, and they like went to the door, and like there was a whole process. Like, I don't even know if the children's aid worker still visits them, but she probably does, because what I sent, like the way I AI'd that, you know, like real AI, like fake bruises type shit.
Be careful, fellas. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
So you fake bruises, you fake it, and then you just made like exaggeration story, and then
On their on his kids.
Yeah.
Like, so hit, like, yeah, then they came.
All right. Hey, what do you guys think about what she had to say?
Now, let me make this perfectly clear. I'm not saying all women would do this, and I'm even going to say half the women doing this. But for this, and I'm trying to keep it G-rated. This female dog to file a false claim of child abuse or children's services against her ex, that's insane. Totally insane. Okay? First of all, because you do not know the amount of harm that could be done on his reputation. You do not know the amount of harm that could be done psychologically. The children, making the children get involved in your fluffery. Okay. Not to mention that the resources are going to have to be devoted, used to investigate to claim that she was false. Meanwhile, there are actual cases of abuse or neglect that cannot be investigated because this brainiac decided to file a false claim. Okay? And then some of these women actually wonder why men go overseas to find their significant other. Okay? Make this make sense, people. Make this make sense. And we will continue again, fair use.
Baby, this is horrible. This is just mind-blowing to me. Shout out to River TV. I did see this on her channel. This is insanity. And you have to wonder where they're getting this mentality from. Why do women think that this is okay? It's okay and it's laughable. She's sitting here laughing. This is funny to her. And you don't understand how horrible and how you could have wrecked this man's life and his children's lives by making up such a horrible lie. And she goes on to say faking bruises. I mean, and I'm assuming she's faking bruises on the kids and saying he harmed his children. This is insane. I mean, this takes the cake, baby. And then wonder why men are walking away and men are saying, you know what, we don't want to deal with these types of women. This is the type of women that are out there. This is the mentality that they have. They'll stoop to dangerous levels because they're mad. This is just the lowest of the lowest. You would go that far and stoop that low because you're mad instead of just walking away from that relationship and leaving the man alone. I tell you, this is a reason for any man to decide to walk away from these types of women, because this is not cute at all. This is not funny. This is very serious. And I'm mind boggled. I really am, because I'm just like, why? Like, why? It's like they have no home training. Nobody ever taught you anything. Nobody ever taught you right from wrong. I mean, you've been enrolled in college and you're perfect with this type of thing. Nobody ever taught you right from wrong, or maybe you know right from wrong, but you just choose to do it. And honestly, I think that if somebody can stoop this low and make something up like this, you need to go to jail. There should be consequences for this type of behavior, because this man could have had his kids taken away from.
Another issue, and I have with this is, see, I'm a municipal employee, And as a municipal employee, I am a mandated reporter. So whenever I come across any concern allegations regarding abuse or neglect, it is my duty to report to children's services. Okay? Because if I don't, that is my job on the line. Now what this female did could have caused irreparable harm not only to the dude but to his children. And why? Because she's pissed off. Okay? Now, my question is to the ladies, why aren't you putting this type of behavior in check? Why? Why? I sincerely want to ask why. Okay? However, it seems like some of these ladies are not only excusing this behavior, but they're okay with it. So we will continue. Again, free use, free use, free.
From him, or he could have been in jail off of these allegations. A lot could have happened because of her clearly admitting to making up the whole story and laughing about it like it's just it's just like it's a simple thing. But oh my God, let somebody make up something up on her and call child services on her. All hell will break loose. They would act like it was the most horrible thing, which it is if you're making this up. And see, this is the type of things that some of these types of women do. And they can get on platforms and talk about it and laugh about it, and nothing's being done about it. And this is why I say this is some BS, and women have to be held accountable. We can't continue to allow this type of stuff to just continuously go on and then put it out here as if it's a joke in a game, and it's okay for you to do it while all of the blame is still shifted and pushed on all of the men, like the men are just doing the most horrible things and these women are doing the most egregious things possible, and nobody's paying attention or focused on it. And they feel comfortable with coming on social media and talking about it because they know there's no consequences for their actions. And these are the type of women that you want to avoid 100%, because these women will have you in a trick bag. They will have you in a situation where you're struggling to maintain your livelihood, will set you up, lie on you, just do the most and walk off and laugh about it and don't care not one bit, all because you're mad about something. And so, listen, I mean, if this is what modern women are out here doing, man, I already understand why men are walking away. I understand why men are saying, look, we don't want to deal with this. It's BS. I don't have time. They want their peace of mind. They don't have to worry about this type of behavior. I totally get it. I totally get it. This is unacceptable. It really is. This is very saddening and unfortunate that there are women out here who will stoop this low. You got women out here coercing their young children against their fathers, telling them things, making this up. And so women are the ones who are perfect and got it all together just because you can make some money doing OnlyFans and you got a degree, you've been enrolled in college and you're perfect with this type of mentality. You think that this is helpful and this is good for our society? You think these are the types of women that need to be raising the children and running the world? We got to do better. And I keep saying it, we have to do better. But Lord, every time I say that, it seems like I see something worse, much more worse and much more sinister each and every day. While women are out here claiming that men are just the horrible, most bottom of the barrel creatures, we see stuff like this, which is far more worse than what they're accusing men of. This should be a crime. That you can make something up like this and actually report this and knowing that it's not the truth. And you could just walk scot-free into the sunset and then laugh and joke about it. So and saying he harmed his children. This is insane. I mean,
There's a couple more minutes of commentary, but I think Didi said it very well. And I'm glad. And the reason why, okay, so I decided to have this commentary from Didi so then people cannot say, oh, it's men saying it. Okay, here's a responsible woman, a responsible lady who is calling into account the irresponsible behavior of this female, okay, to actually call children's services on a false accusation of abuse, not because she's upset because they broke up or what have you, okay? Whatever happened to the day when you have a breakup, no matter how messy it was, you went your separate way. And then what you did, you allow yourself to mourn and grieve and heal and what have you. It seems like some people are not capable of doing that. Okay. And again, I want to make this perfectly clear. Not all women are guilty of this. Okay. Not all women are guilty of it. Unfortunately. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Now, I'm going to share another video, and I'm going to share another video, and this is something that really broke my heart. Okay, this was a mother. I think she was about 30 years old. She left her toddler daughter alone, unsupervised, for vacation for 2 weeks. The child died. So I'm just going to air this video. Now, again, let me just make this perfectly clear, and I want to make it perfectly clear so there be no misunderstanding whatsoever. I firmly believe that a lot of the women are responsible, and even some of the women that have issues would not stoop to this level. Unfortunately, we have things like this that do occur. So what I'm going to do is, just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Okay. And, and again, to leave a child unsupervised, I mean, it's horrible, absolutely horrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share, oops, no, that's not what I want to do that. So let me just give you the scenario. There was a young lady about 30, in her early 30s, went to Puerto Rico for about 2 weeks, and she left without making provisions for the child to be cared for, fed, and whatever. This toddler, and you see, this is the late, well, okay, this is the person in question. And then the attorney tried to cite mental illness for her actions. Excuse me, mental illness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video, and again, free use. And again, not all women do this. Unfortunately, some people do this kind of crap.
commend the prosecution and detectives for their work. It was unimaginable, terrible, and I feel for all you guys having to deal with that too, and her family as well. It's when the prosecution showed pictures of her on her trip. Pictures can be deceiving. Personally, for having myself suffer from depression and anxiety, you can't tell what a person's going through from a picture, what they're dealing with on the inside. And I'm thankful for the support that I had from my family, my friends, and my doctors. She didn't have any of that. She was hiding it from herself, from her parents. Nobody knew what she was suffering from. Her doctors even thought it was migraines and possible strokes. And to be honest with you, when I first met her, Your Honor, after this happened in June, I met a person that was devoid of emotion. Just after hearing what had happened on the news, and then I get the call, she wants to meet with me, and I go talk to her, it was not what I expected. She had no emotion. She couldn't explain anything. I had no idea who I was talking to. But I'll tell you right now, this is not the same person. This person now is compliant on her medications. She's been taking them through the prison throughout the whole time that she's been in here. I'll echo again, there's no justification for her action when she was out there, what she was doing. She could have called somebody, she could have done this, yes, but when you're in that state, when you're off medication, mismanaging your thoughts, you're not thinking clearly, her body she had to get out, and she was having fun. If she was okay, in her mind, Jaylene was okay. Of course that's not the case, but I will point to when she did finally get home, and we heard that 911 call, I commend the prosecution and detectives for their work. It was unimaginable, terrible, and I feel for all you guys having to deal with that too, and her family as well. It's when the prosecution showed pictures of her on her trip. Pictures can be deceiving. Personally, for having myself suffer from depression and anxiety,
First of all, this female was posting pictures on social media talking about all the fun that she having in Puerto Rico. So miss me with the mental defect, mental deficiency, what have you. First of all, if she's so mentally incompetent, what she should have done was the following. Place her child in the foster care system so that a responsible adult or adults can properly raise the toddler until this female got to the point when she was able to take care of herself mentally. That is what she should have done. She didn't do that. Okay? And the whole thing about that she didn't have anyone to turn to. Okay? What about the biological father of this child? So she couldn't go to the biological father. Okay. She can go to her siblings. She couldn't go to a therapist or what have you. But what she did was she went on a vacation for 2 weeks and left her child alone where she died of neglect. Miss me with a mental disease. And we will continue. Again, fair use.
And then the prosecution saying that nobody's here on behalf of Jaylene, that's wrong. Her parents are here. They love that girl. They love Jaylene. Her mother loved Jaylene. She didn't deserve what happened to her. Nobody does. But they're here to talk on behalf of Jaylene as well. They'd love to hear. So this time around, I'd like to call our parents up to sit.
Sure. And same thing, just please identify themselves, spell their first and last name. Do we need an interpreter?
Yeah, sure.
Robert, are you okay?
I come from an Italian Catholic family, and both my parents were immigrants, and they
Each person is a world unto herself.
Y el mundo interior de mi hija
And the inner world of my
se
daughter
convulsionó.
was shaken
Sin darnos cuenta,
without our having realized it.
la depresión, la ansiedad,
Depression
la envolvieron hasta hacerle perder el juicio y la razón.
Depression and anxiety consumed her to the point of depriving her of good judgment and reason.
Aquí está mi hija Cristel, que también tiene un motivo para seguir adelante.
Here's my daughter Crystal, who also has a motive to go forward with your help.
Con la ayuda de ustedes y esa razón,
With your help and with this motive,
se llama Amaya,
her name is Amaya.
que tiene 7 años
She is 7 years old
y espera ver a su madre
and she hopes to
y abrazarla
see her mother and hug her very soon.
muy pronto.
Very soon.
Ruego a ustedes, imploro, perdón, suplico, comprensión.
I beg for your help, forgiveness, and understanding.
Hija querida, recuerda siempre
My beloved daughter, always remember
que nunca te olvidaremos.
that we will never
A Yailin,
forget Jaylene,
mi amada nietecita,
my beloved granddaughter,
que tuve en mis brazos,
who I held in
que
my arms.
todos los días tenía que yo amanecer cogiéndola a mi nieta,
That every
quien
day
extraño mucho,
we miss you very much,
profundamente.
very deeply.
Su imagen está grabada en mi recuerdo.
I commend the prosecution. I commend the prosecution and detectives for their work.
Sorry. Hay mucho dolor que tengo con respecto a la pérdida de mi bebé Yailin.
There's so much pain that I have in regards to the loss of my baby, Jaylene.
Estoy muy dolida por todo lo que pasó.
I'm extremely hurt about everything that happened.
No estoy tratando de justificar mis actos,
I am not trying to justify my actions,
pero nadie sabe cuánto yo estaba sufriendo
but nobody knew how much I was suffering
y por lo que estaba pasando.
and what I was going through.
Todos los días le pido perdón a Dios y a mi hija, Yailin.
Every day, I ask forgiveness from God and from my daughter, Jaylene.
Soy una persona creyente de Dios
I'm a person who believes in God.
y reconozco hoy que todos y todas, muchas ocasiones, somos tentados por el enemigo.
And I recognize today that all of us are sometimes subject to the enemy.
Dios y mi hija me han perdonado.
God and my daughter have forgiven me.
Quisiera pedir perdón también a mi hija Amaya
I would also like to ask Amaya, my daughter Amaya, for forgiveness.
y a mis padres.
And I'd like to ask my parents for forgiveness.
No se imaginan cuánto yo era unida a mi hija Yailin Amaya.
One can't imagine how close I was to my daughters, Jaylene and Amaya,
Y cuánto nos amábamos todas.
and how much we all love one another.
Extraño mucho a mis hijas.
I miss my daughters very much.
Hoy nada puede devolverme a Maya, a Yailin, perdón.
Now, I know that nothing can bring Jaylene back.
Y no pasa un día que no deje de pensar en ella.
And not a day goes by when I do not think of her.
Le pido a Dios que algún día pueda volverla a ver
I pray to God that one day I will see her again
y poder retornar junto con Amaya, que es nuestra única esperanza el día de hoy.
and I pray also that one day I can be reunited with Amaya, who is our only hope right now.
Thank you, Susan. Your honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Smith? All right. Ms. Candelaria, you might as well stand up. This court has to impose a sentence here today. And the first thing a judge has to do is look at the purposes and principles of sentencing. That is, the sentence must comply with these purposes and principles under our revised code 292911A. The overriding purpose is to punish the offender and protect the public from future crime by this offender and others, using the minimum sanctions that the court determines accomplishes this purpose without imposing an unnecessary burden on state or local government resources. I always have to consider the need for incapacitation, deterrence, rehabilitation, and restitution. The sentence should be commensurate with and not demeaning to the seriousness of the offender's conduct, its impact on the victims, and consistent with sentences for similar crimes by similar offenders. Ms. Candelaria, I am not sentencing you today based on your race, your ethnicity, your gender, or your religion. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I sat here, listened, and I'm looking in the back of this courtroom, and I think of Dr. Mooney's statements to me, Sergeant Detective Teresa, the responsibility of parenting. You have a child already. You raise another child. And I've witnessed here before me your parents who showed you love and respect and education. And they came here to help you, to advocate for you. more than what you've done for your own child. The evidence that I've witnessed here before this court shows that this time you simply chose not to be here because you wanted to have fun. You decided you needed a vacation. And what followed was absolute depravity. You left your baby, Jalen, trapped in a pack and play without food and water for 10 days. This wasn't simply an oversight. You could have saved Jalen's life many times. You could have found someone to watch her while you were gone. And then I hear that you're in jail and you're telling, just as you didn't let Jalen out of her confinement until she died, so too, you should spend the rest of your life in a cell without freedom. The only difference will be that prison will at least feed you and give you liquids that you denied her.
This is so sad and tragic. Okay. And again, this individual went on a 10-day vacation and left her toddler daughter with no food, no liquids, no one to feed her, no one to care for her, no one to supervise her. Okay? And only after she returned from her vacation of fun, when she posted all the things she did on social media, she called the authorities, which was then too late. This is sad. Okay, it's sad and it's horrible. Now, as a Christian, of course, we're taught forgiveness. But Adam made it perfectly clear. Forgiveness is the situation where remembering the hurt that was caused to you would not cause you to remember painfully. So this woman, this person will spend the rest of her life in prison, never knowing what it is to live free. And her other daughter will go through the rest of her life without her mother. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. Tonight, I'm doing reactions to certain outrageous videos. I just shared a video regarding the fact that there was a woman from a female from Ohio that went to Puerto Rico for 10 days and didn't bother to leave, make sure that her toddler was cared for, and actually the toddler actually tried to eat her own feces in order to survive. As a result, the toddler died, and the female was sentenced to life without parole. Yeah, it is so freaking sad. So freaking sad. Now, again, as Christians, we're taught forgiveness no matter what. Now, whether God forgave this person, I am not going to say yay or nay. My question, and again, I agree. Why? Okay, and this is the thing. What she could have done, look, there's so many things she could have done. She could have asked her parents to look after the child. She could have, if she was going through depression, she could have put the child in foster care. She could have, or reach out to the child's father. I mean, there were so many options that this person had. So many options. So, but instead of going through her parents, and I'm sure her parents, based on what little we see, would look after the child, or maybe gone to the child's father, or I got something better. Don't go away on a 10-day vacation without making sure someone is there to supervise the child or take the child with you. And that's the other option, stay home. Now, look, I have never been a parent. I never raised children, okay? But I have enough sense not to leave a child unsupervised. The language in 10 days, starving to death, in a dirty diaper. Okay? And, it's just, it really, really breaks my heart. Okay. And again, the toddler is the saddest victim because she's no longer here with us physically. Her other daughter is a victim as well because she's lost a sister, and now she's going to go through the rest of her life without her mom. Yeah. I wish, I wish I can enter into her mind and try to figure out where she went wrong. Okay? She went wrong somewhere. How? I don't know. Okay? And I'm sorry, but advocating for her daughter while she was in trial, that was not the place to do that. Okay? I don't know why. I don't want to cast any judgment because I don't know what happened, which caused this to happen. So, but it's tragedy. It's a tragedy. And then earlier in the stream, we had another female that called Children's Services with a false accusation of abuse or neglect on regarding the dude simply because they broke up. Okay. And again, I gotta ask the ladies this question. Why aren't there a whole bunch of you condemning this? Why? Okay. Now, of course, there are men there are boys that act irresponsibly. Okay. Yes. There are males that mistreat women. Yes, there are males that cheat on women. Okay. Yes, I get it. And believe me, I believe in holding them accountable just as much. But where is the outcry regarding a female who put in a false charge of abuse and neglect of the Gadu's children? Where is the outcry in that? And then some of these women actually complain about why some of these men go overseas. There's some things, it just does not make sense. And again, not all women, okay, let me make this particularly clear. There are responsible women, okay? There are women that are more capable of coping with a whole lot of stuff, that they don't have to resort to lies and deceits and what have you. And believe me, I know that there are horror stories regarding men that do these terrible things. I know it. I get it. I understand that. Okay. But the last time I checked, 2 wrongs do not make a right. Okay. Just because one dude does something wrong does not give the female the right to do something as a form of revenge. It does not. So I have been talking for almost an hour. Okay. First of all, shout out to all the people watching in the clouds. But let me make this perfect again. I want to make this perfectly clear. Okay, which is the following. This is extreme examples. Again, this is extreme examples of people not acting responsibly. Okay. I want to make this perfectly clear. Okay, so let me just see. I don't think I'm going to show another video because basically I don't want it to become like an anti-female thing, but these two examples really, it really makes me wonder. It does. And again, I have to make this perfectly clear. This is extreme examples of people not wanting to take accountability for their actions. That's what it is. Okay. So before we end this stream, and actually, like I said before, if anyone wants to, hit the link, they can do so. That's true. That's true. There are fathers who act irresponsible. I agree with you 100%. Okay. Both are, I agree. I agree. But it does that. It really it really bothers me. Okay. Now let's see if I can find something quickly. Okay. Okay, this one more thing. No, I'm not gonna show it. Okay, you know what? Let me just give you my summary. But what we see here, both men and women are both capable of doing horrific things. Okay. What we need to do is we need to, hold these people accountable for their actions. Yeah, I agree. But what we need to do is we need to call out inappropriate behavior. If it's done by men, we need to do that. If it's done by women, we need to do that as well. And we need to do it with the same energy. Okay. Because if we fail to do that, basically what we're doing is we're enabling these people to do their fluffery. Okay, excuse me. Okay, so that's why. But let me just share with you, and again, I forgot to add the link to tonight's stream, but I have another channel. It's called Latina Diaspora. Okay. Now, what we go talk about on this channel is we're going to be talking about issues as it pertains to Latinos, mainly Latinos that were born and raised in the United States. Okay, and we have issues. The issues that we have is, of course, we have, trying to retain some semblance of our culture, some semblance of who we are. And sometimes in our effort to assimilate to life in the United States, we neglect our cultural background. And I can see it with my own family. Okay. Now, me and my siblings, we all have some sort of command of Spanish. And we all have some understanding when it comes to our cultures and things of that nature because our parents taught us this. However, going past our generation, many members of our family do not have a command of Spanish, nor do they know what our culture is like, because they come so assimilated to life in the United States. The contrary to what I believe, I don't have a problem. I think we should assimilate. But in assimilating to life in the United States, we should not lose who we are. We should not neglect who we are, okay? Yes, we're American citizens because we were born and raised in the United States. However, we do have a rich culture, which is Latino culture, okay? And that's applicable whether you are, whether your parents come from the Caribbean, or whether your parents come from Central America, or whether your parents come from South America. We're all, and again, we're all have a rich culture. Now, I already started planning for my streams for next week. Okay. So I'm gonna have a theme on Monday. I'm gonna have a thing on Wednesday. I'm gonna have a thing on Thursday. Now, just to let you know, Monday's stream is going to be time for change with a question mark. And what I'm going to be talking about as we continue in our life's journey, we have to adapt to many situations. We have to adapt to how things are as we get older. Sometimes people have a hard time adapting to change. So we're going to be talking about that. And then on Wednesday, the theme would be Hey Blubber. And what I'm going to be talking about. Now, we're talking about morbidly obese people who think of themselves as sexy and that they should be accepted for what they are and they shouldn't take accountability for the fact that they're morbidly obese. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest. The person that gave me the inspiration was another YouTube creator known as Visions of Asia. And what she did a couple of videos where talking about when you have these people who weigh 300-400 pounds, and then they try to pass it off as being sexy. Okay, now this is something that I can talk about because I have had issues with obesity all my life. I am morbidly obese. Okay. Yes, I weigh 250 pounds, so technically I am morbidly obese. But when I have an issue, when you have people almost twice my weight talking about that they're sexy, talking about, wow, they should be able to do whatever they wish. I have a problem with that. Okay. First of all, when you're that morbidly obese, you're exposing yourself to a lot of health issues. Heart problems, diabetes, respiration, okay? Not to mention the weight that's being placed and the pressure is being placed on your knees and your other joints. Okay. You're not doing yourself any favors by being 400 pounds. So I'm going to be talking about that, okay? And I can talk from a unique perspective because I have been dealing with morbid obesity all my life. Yes, I'm morbidly obese. The difference is I'm actually doing something to deal with the problem. Okay, that's different. But then you have these individuals that weigh 400 or 500 pounds, and then they want to gain more weight. I'm sorry, but that does not make any sense at all. And I'm just going to cam up just for a moment. See, okay, you cannot tell so much with this image, but I am morbidly obese. Okay. At 250 pounds, I'm morbidly obese. I should be maybe 170, 180. So I'm still a long way from where I should be. Yeah, it was called PC culture, politically correct culture. Okay, so we come up with a whole bunch of names for people who are morbidly obese. I agree. See, I know I'm morbidly obese. I know it. I'm not saying that I'm hefty. I'm not saying I'm husky. I'm morbidly obese. The difference is I recognize the problem and I'm trying to address it by changing my lifestyle. Okay? Because I want to have the rest of my life to be as healthy as possible. So I'm going to be talking about that. Okay? And all I can say is if you know people who are morbidly obese, I get it. Be patient with them. I'll try to explain to them that they're not doing themselves any favors. You know what? They could say whatever they want, that I'm fat shaming and it's fat phobia. No, I believe in reality. Okay. And the reality is this: I'm morbidly obese at 250 pounds. But I'm doing something about it. That's the difference. Why? Because I want to improve my quality of life. I don't want to have to worry about having heart problems. Okay. Well, you know what? If they're that sensitive, they don't have to watch the stream. And in fact, if they get insulted, they can unsubscribe. Okay? I would rather be truthful and then be deceitful. And really, I will be doing more harm by encouraging the delusion to continue. I will be doing more harm. So I will ask, particularly if there's any morbidly obese people, to at least hear me out before you make whatever judgments you're going to make. And it's not fat shaming. I'm just, it is simply telling the truth. But with that being said, I'll start to wrap this up. And as I stated before, we need to start taking accountability for our actions. Okay? And whenever we see inappropriate behavior, whether it be by males or females, we cannot be shy about addressing it. We cannot be shy calling attention to it. And if people cannot accept the truth, well, goodbye. So with that being said, I thank all of you who actually either watch the stream live or watch it from the playback. Okay. I don't do this very often. I try to keep it upbeat, but you have to speak the truth sometimes. And one thing I know about my audience, they prefer the truth. So again, if you have not done so, please subscribe, hit the like, and set the notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it in the playback. So I will close the same way I was always close. We must do everything possible to not expose ourselves to the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we'll be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, and hopefully I'll see you this Saturday at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on my other channel, Latina Diaspora. That being said, take care. Have a good day. Have a good night. Be the best version of yourself. And peace.